Okay, so we are moving on to unit 4, I believe, which is going to be our video unit. So I'm going to do screen share. Going to go over everything that's going to be due soon. Holler if you have any questions. So first things first, video quiz is now open. It's going to be due November 16th, which I believe is Monday. Let me double check my calendar. Yes, so that'll be due Monday. Any questions on the video quiz? Sorry about that. Okay, so that is first things first. Monday, sorry about that. So Monday the 16th, get your quiz in. So video unit is now open as well. Sorry. 1 second. Okay, sorry. So are y'all still there?
Yeah, we're here.
Thank you. Sorry about that. Dogs are out of control. Okay, so module 4, the usual overview here. Basically, we're just going to be going over experimental video. So learning materials, there's some essentials package. This is one I would go over. This has like the elements of cinematography and then like tips for sound or for video making. So we'll just, oh yeah, that's right. It's a download one. I'll open that. Can you guys see this that says elements of cinematography? Did that pop up?
Yeah, it popped up.
Okay. So this one's a good one to look over, just like video editing. It's just kind of like showing you how to like frame shots and contextualize like what each shot could mean, right? Tell a story. So like with this, right, you have a shot of the door, a shot of the hand, a shot of a knife, and a shot of a woman, which is going to be threatening. But as soon as you like introduce something into that fifth frame, which would be like a cake or something, or slice of bread, it cuts the tension and it changes the story. So kind of keep that in mind while you're doing that. Okay, let me see if I can toggle out of here. Oh my God, I don't know what's going on. I wish my husband would shut them up. I'm so sorry. Okay. So go over this. This is going to help you sort of like frame everything. For the final project, you are going to be asked to do a storyboard as well. Okay. So this is what's going to be due November 13th. Is it November 13th? That sounds awfully soon. This is open November 13th. It'll be due, I don't know why it says the 13th. It should be saying the 20th is when it's due. So I will adjust that. So this will be due next Friday. This is going to be your exercise. So the overview for this is that you're going to find another person to work with. You're going to take one shot straight on, recording that person doing any action you'd like. Just like heads up, don't shoot in portrait mode. And I'll say this over and over again, don't shoot in portrait mode, shoot in landscape mode so that when you edit, it will be 1920 by 1080 pixels. You can get a tripod. If you don't have one, you can go down to ASU and check one out during the checkout hours that are listed in Canvas. And I believe that's like right in announcements. Just look for that in announcements. So you can record either that, or you could even like set it up on something and get like 2 clothespins, like the wooden ones, and you can actually set up your camera that way. It'll clip it in and just kind of hold it in place for you, but make sure it's steady as you can get it. if you're using your phone and not like a DSLR camera. There are also DSLR cameras available for checkout for like, I think a 3-day period as well through ASU, if any of you are down in Tempe and want to try that out. So just make sure you're aware of like the white balance, the exposure rate, and the ISO if you're using a DSLR like this one. If not, just you may need to adjust some of that in post if you're going to use your phone. Okay, you are going to transfer the clips. You can do that either through Google Drive and then transfer them into Premiere, or however you want. Normally, if you're using a DSLR, you would plug in you could just take your SD card out and your SD card reader would transfer that for you. So once you've downloaded your footage, you're going to import it into Premiere, and then you're going to add some effects. So you're going to add a transition between two clips. You are going to color correct, which is altering the exposure, tint, or contrast of a clip. Consider changing the duration of a clip and add a title before your two clips. Then you're going to upload to Canvas. Consider how the action is framed. There's some tutorials down here. 45 points on that one. And then this one is due the 20th of November. So I'll change that. 20th. Okay. That being said, any questions so far on the exercise? Does anyone have a DSLR? Or you guys think you'll be using your phones?
I'll probably be using my phone.
Okay, yeah, so just make sure to hold it vertically, make sure your fingers don't get in the way. And again, like you can use those like clips or whatever, just try to like steady it while you're shooting it. That's probably one of the harder parts. So I assume most people will be using phones for this. So that is for your exercise due the 20th. And then you also, again, reading for quiz, you guys know the deal on that one by now. And then your final project, which you are going to be broken into groups to critique each other's work. So it should be like groups of like 3 or 4. This will be fairly similar. This one, you're just going to create a short non-narrative and just kind of, you're also going to do a basic storyboard on that one. Video production, you're just going to choose an everyday concept to organize your video around. Create a storyboard. Again, do not shoot in portrait mode if you're using your phone. I'll mark down for that. Add a title credit to the beginning and end of your video, and then you're going to render and export as an MP4 file, upload to Canvas. And I'm going to show you how to do all that right now. Your video should be no shorter than 2 minutes and no longer than 5. So between 2 and 5 minutes, you should use at least 2 different transitions, 2 different camera angles. Audio can be incorporated, but needs to be appropriate. Title and credits, beginning and end of video. Okay, this one's a big one. No how-to videos, no cooking videos, and no music videos, especially if the music's yours, that's okay, but all music you should be royalty-free. There is a master page. If any of you are interested, I can send it to you on YouTube that actually has like a whole sheet of royalty-free music you can use. That I'm okay with, but anything that gets like marked for copyright infringement is no bueno. Again, conceptual, technical, aesthetic, participation. Does your intent and concept match up? Was it a strong idea? And then I will just show you real quick. This was done last spring semester 2020 by one of my students. And this is, let me know if y'all able to see this redness right here. Is that showing up?
Yeah, it is.
So hers is 3 minutes. And she went off of the artist I showed called Kenneth Anger, I think was really the sort of main inspiration for this like Technicolor sort of vibe and royalty-free music. Right now here she's layering 3 different videos on top of each other and adjusting their opacity, and she has different color pathways as well. So one's like a blue, purple, the other one's more red. Okay, so that was Amanda Scogan, Potassium Dream, and that is a student example from last year. So as you can see, she had a few different transitions. She had different color pathways going. She had layered a bunch of images on top of each other and adjusted the opacity, but also made sure that those color pathways work together. So your final project it's experimental, but it should definitely be centered around one central concept. So for her, that was potassium dream. And maybe it might even help to kind of start with just that one simple concept first. So what's going to be submitted there is going to be your video, as well as a written statement, and your storyboard. So I want to see your storyboard. It can be short, and it can be written out if you don't feel comfortable drawing, but there should be some kind of storyboard saying like, I'm going to do a close-up of this CD, and then I'm going to burn the CD, so on and so forth, just so that you also know going in before you shoot that you're actually remembering to shoot all your shots, because you'd be surprised without a storyboard how easy it is to forget something super minor, or something major, I should say, and you're like, I forgot a central element of my story. So it doesn't have to be linear. This is kind of more working in the realm of like the subconscious and dreams. And when we get to our actual lecture with the videos, you'll see what I'm talking about. Does anyone have any questions there so far? Okay, I'm going to, let's see. So I want to first go over the demo for Premiere because I think that's the most important at this moment. Has anyone worked with Premiere before in here? Or is this first?
Yeah.
Was that Caitlin?
Yes.
Cool. Anyone else? Just Caitlin? Okay. All right, so I'm going to stop the share here. So if you guys want to follow along with this, if you've never done it before, it might be a little bit easier for you. So can you see this Pexels site right now?
Yes.
Okay, so I chose this Gucci Poochie video that we're gonna just use to experiment on. So I downloaded it. So if you want to go to Pexels and just like download a quick video, you can do that. It's just this right here. I'm going to stop the share so I can pull up Premiere for y'all. And then I'm thinking, Marco, does Adobe have a stabilization effect? I believe it does have a stabilization effect, but you should try to do as much stabilization during production as you can, because I think it is somewhat limited. Although I shoot mostly everything from a tripod, so I don't know because I've never actually tried to use it, but I assume it does. Okay, so now that that's pulled up, let's do this again. Okay. Remind me later. Okay. Oh, that's weird. Pull up. That's really weird. Why isn't it giving me a option to share that with y'all? Hold on. Let's try this. Can you guys see Adobe Premiere? Or is it just the other page?
No, we can see Premiere.
Good. Okay, so in Premiere, you're going to open it like you open all your other programs. You're going to hit New Project. Everything should be okay here. I'm just going to call it Test. Oh, I guess that already. Let's try Test 1. Okay. All right, so this is the main sort of area you're going to be working in. I hate all these dang things. Okay, so let me pull this up a little. If you can't see, again, like say your workspaces aren't showing up, you always have window workspaces, all panels. For some reason on my PC, it's been kicking not to the all panels workspace. I'm on my Mac right now, but okay. So file, you're going to import. You can also hit Apple I, which is import. That's the shortcut. I'm going to go to downloads where this video of this Gucci Poochie is. I'm going to hit import there. So all of your, the other thing about Premiere is you can actually move these windows, make them larger, make them smaller if you need to mess around with how much space you're working in. So we have this video here, it's showing up. So once our videos are imported, you might have several clips. You might want to name them if that helps keep you more organized. In this case, we're just literally gonna drag it and drop it. So now we have our video. Any questions so far there? No questions. Okay, I'm gonna make this timeline a little larger. Okay, so in order to play it, you can always hit play. You can also hit spacebar is just gonna play your video. So now we can see we've got this little Gucci Poochie right here. So does anyone know what this yellow bar means up here? Caitlin, any idea since you've used Premiere before?
Is it the duration of the video?
That's part of it, yeah. So this is the duration, but it also means like once it's this yellow color, it means it's not rendered. So I will tell you like one thing that you want to remember is to render, render, render. It's going to slow you down. And if you make a bunch of cuts and then render like 100 cuts, it's going to take a while. This computer's old and slow now, and I don't really use it to edit video on anymore. But let's just go. So you would go up to sequence, render into out. I can't stress it enough that you're going to want to render your video while you're working on it and save it very frequently, because sometimes it'll just crash and it won't save what you had before. So this might take a second, but so you guys can all see, you're going to go sequence, render into out, and you can see this is going to take me a second. My computer's old. So get used to this, get used to rendering. It's going to make your life a lot easier. And then saving, render and save, render and save. And I think some people might have had some issues with that in the audio section as well, but okay. Come on, buddy. Okay. So see how it's playing more smoothly now than it was before? It was like all choppy and stuff. That is what you want to see. Okay, so let's just say I'm going to hit spacebar. That's stopping my video. I'm going to bring it back here, and I'm going to say, let's just say right here, I want to make a cut. Most of the tools you are going to use are going to be over here. This little razor blade tool is mostly what you're going to be using. This is the shortcut for this is C. And then I'm just going to come over here. I'm going to make this cut here. And like, let's say I want to take a section of this out. Let's just say right to there. I'm going to cut that. Then you can either come back over to your toolbar and you want to choose your selection tool, as I'm sure you guys are used to now. Shortcut V for selection tool, pretty much across the board for Adobe products. So I'm going to hit V. Make sure your section is highlighted. I'm going to, there's actually a few ways you can do it. If you want to keep the video intact, you can either delete it and get rid of it, right? But let's say you don't want to delete it. You can also just like, say you just want to shorten it right to there. You can actually keep the video in the playback bar or just shorten it or whatever. So you can mess around with that. I'm going to hit my V again. You can manually move these over to connect them, and or you can click that negative space in between and just hit delete, and it'll automatically bring it over. Say this video had audio and you wanted to keep the audio intact. These, again, like all Adobe products, you can lock it in place so that if we didn't cut that out, the audio would be like further along, like right to here. So if sometimes when you're editing and you make a cut and you cut something out, keep in mind that it's also going to be connected to your audio, and you might want to like lock a layer in place so that it doesn't mess with each layer. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, cool. So the main two things you're going to be using are going to be your razor tool and your arrow tool. You can also use your text tool as well. Okay, so the other thing I want to show you that you're going to need, you have, again, all these controls up here as we usually do. So learning, there will be some tutorials in Adobe for you there. Assembly, which will show you your video clips. Editing, which we will want to use for certain things. So like, say you have 2 layers of video. Let's just say, let's bring this one over here. And so we have 2 dogs over 2 dogs. Let's choose this top layer. Make sure you're clicked on your top layer, and let's adjust the opacity on that like Amanda did with her video. All of that is going to always be in editing and effect controls. And then you'll always see, like, this is also where you can crop and do other things. So this is like, let me make this small because that is in the way. Okay, so let's just go down to 50% and see how that looks. Now we're getting kind of a trippy vibe here, right? Like, let's see how this looks. Let's play. If my spacebar will work anymore. Or we'll just scrub it. So you can kind of see it's got like a little trippy thing going on here. Let's also now come over here. So now we've adjusted the opacity, but let's go over to color. And again, you can adjust speed, all that stuff. So this is where you're going to adjust the color pathway. So you will need to make some kind of edit there. Let's maybe bring the exposure up on this one a little bit and we can mess with the temperature. Let's make this one a bit cooler. And then let's like come back down here and adjust. So see how I clicked on that video 1 and not video 2 there? I'm gonna work with this layer now, which is the bottom layer, and let's like make this a little bit more pinky and see what that does. So now you see we're kind of getting this like more trippy vibe here. So that is how you adjust the color. You can mess with the exposure, contrast, highlights. It also has curves like you're used to, so you can just adjust red, green, or blue like you would do in Photoshop. Any questions here so far? So I'm gonna render this real quick so you guys can get the idea of how. So once you make those edits, the sooner you render, the faster it'll render, the easier it'll be on you. Unless you have like a super fast PC or something, you can probably wait a little bit, but. So we'll render those edits we made, see how it's got that little yellow right there. The green means it's been fully rendered. Come on, buddy. I need to get a webcam for my PC. It'll be so much faster. Mostly just so we can see it at this point. And then once we're done with, so let's see, color was one thing you all had to do. You have your, let's go into effects next so you can see how that works. Any questions so far about anything? Anyone nervous about the timeline they have to get everything done in? So we're moving on to animation next as well. So you guys are gonna have a jam-packed few weeks in this class, but I don't think we're gonna do the final portfolio. So we'll just skip that part since we're a little bit behind. No questions at all? Okay, here we go. Okay, so see how we made that adjustment? See how that varies from the original video? That could definitely be one way you approach it. So the other thing is effects. So your effects are going to be up here. Let's say your video transitions are going to be one you're going to want to figure out. I'm going to cut this again. And let's see. So really the way that you are going to approach this with any effect, whether that's a transition, a video effect, so again, you can really play around with it. You can do pretty much any of these things, but video transitions are the most common. So let's just put a dissolve effect at the end. Oh, I'm not clicked on that layer, so that would probably help. Click on your layer, come over here, and then you're just gonna, if it will drag and drop, it should. Let's see. Let's do dip to white. Let's see if it does. Come on, buddy. And then you're just gonna pretty much layer that effect on top of the clip you want. So we'll come over here, see how it's yellow. That means it added the effect. And then to control the effect, make sure you're clicked on your the correct layer. And then it's just gonna see it starts to dip to white there. You can adjust the speed of it, the opacity of it. You can also make it longer. That's pretty much how you're gonna apply all of your effects. So it's just drag and drop and then all the controls are over here. Let's see, crop. If you know the name of it, sometimes it's just easier to type it into the search bar. So let's say we want to come back over here and crop this guy. So we have this, crop is on top here. I'm going to close the opacity so you'll see that they kind of start to look a little busy, clogged, but these are all the effects we've applied to this video. So now we are left with crop. So when you're cropping, you can literally come over here. Let's say we just want to crop it so it's like half of the dog. And that would be how you like apply that effect there. So now it's kind of a little more experimental looking. And that, again, that's going to be how you apply any effect that you want. So keep that in mind. Do we have any questions? Those are really the basics. So once we render it, we're going to save it. So file, save. You'll always want to save your backup. Save it to a Google Drive. Make sure you also save your source files in the same place. So you might want to create a folder on your laptop or whatever, on your desktop, on your drive. It's always good to back it up. Save all your clips, because if you unplug that, your computer isn't going to be able to find the clips and you're not going to be able to edit the video. So once those clips are missing, same with After Effects, you can't edit that. Does that make sense? So once you're ready to export, you're going to go export file, export media. Again, let's pretend this is all rendered. We're not going to render it right now. You're going to want to come over here. Format's going to be H.264, high bit rate. Then you'll come down to this section. Make sure it's 1920 by 1080. If you're shooting with your phone, it should be 1920 by 1080, but you never know. So just make sure that is correct. You're going to come down here. You're going to scroll down, and then once it gets to bitrate encoding, you're going to come to VBR, and you're going to click VBR2 pass. That's that. You're going to come down here, and then you're going to just export your file, and you should be good there. And that will be how you export the video. I will also upload a cheat sheet for the exporting process. But that's really kind of the basics of Premiere. Any questions there? Questions of Premiere. Are you all still there? Okay, well, I'm thinking, let's see, chat, let's check the chat. Okay. Does anyone have anything they want to know how to do before I sign out of Premiere that I did not cover? Let's actually go back over real quick the final project and just make sure we went through everything. Transitions, again, you saw how to do that. 2 camera angles, that'll be something you'll have to do manually. We saw how to adjust the color. And I think adding title credits, let's see, graphics, I believe that's in here. So you can actually just to do title credits, you can do them on your own with like the text at the beginning if you just want to put it in the video, or you can use a template over here from graphics library. Again, the things to keep in mind, everything as far as effects is going to be drag and drop. All your controls are going to be over here, and the effect controls, motion, opacity, all that good stuff. And those are really the main things to keep in mind. It's pretty simple. I actually think it's a lot easier to use than like iMovie or whatever it's called. So have fun with that. Should we, I don't know, what do you guys think? Should we go over some of the videos today, or should we just save that for Wednesday and then you guys are just gonna have to hustle to the finish line with this project? Let's take a vote.
I'd rather go over it today. I don't know about everyone else.
I was thinking we could even break it up into a few different, I guess break it up half and half. The videos are quite a lot. Anyone else? Ryan's for today. Well, since Ryan's the only one participating at this point, I'm going to save it for Wednesday, I suppose, because I'm not really sure anyone's actually listening at this point. But now you know how to get started on the exercise. Again, make sure you get the quiz done by Monday. That's first things first, quiz Monday. And then make sure you have the exercise done, I believe I said by the 20th. So you have a week to do the exercise. And then the week after that, your project will be due. We are going to be overlapping it with animation. So you'll have an animation exercise due in between that, as well as an animation quiz that last week of November. Is anyone but Ryan listening still? This is sad. All right, I'm gonna end that there. Thank you, Marco. Okay, so that concludes how to use Adobe Premiere. That's fine. To Mark, sorry. That's okay, Francesca. So I guess we'll just go over our videos Wednesday. The real thing is that you need to start on that exercise today. Do you feel comfortable doing that without having seen the lecture, Ryan?
Yeah, I think it'll be fine.
Okay, cool. Yeah, the video lecture takes a while. So for the slackers who couldn't be here today, they can just refer to this for editing. At least you all know how to edit now. So as long as you get your quiz done this week, and even if you can get your exercise done this week, I don't think it'll take you very long. That would be fantastic. Wednesday, we'll go over, Wednesday is going to be a long class, so I'm going to warn you there. Wednesday, we're going to go over all of our experimental films that I have set up for you. So we're going to be watching quite a few videos there. And then we'll just move on to animation after that. And then it'll be the end of the semester. So y'all can feel free to email me. I guess you guys can type in the chat. Do you want to start half of the lecture today and finish half Wednesday? I know Ryan was for it. Was anyone else for today or for Wednesday? And if you just write that in the chat, that's fine too. All right, let's do half today. Okay, everyone's on the same page. The other folks can, and we won't watch all of them, but I want you guys to at least have like sort of a working understanding of where these films come from. So let me get that up for you real quick. Quit. And we will go to experimental film. All right, I pre-recorded these last semester, so don't laugh. It's gonna be like half future or half past Madison, half current Madison. So let's get going on this experimental stuff. Okay, so experimental film, 1920 to present. Is anyone seeing any sort of, ooh, that's not what I meant to do. Are y'all able to see that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so 1920 to present. Anyone seeing any parallels here with any of the other art movements? It coincides with most of the things we've studied so far. So Dada, Fluxus, and then obviously modern art, and then the phase we're in now, which is contemporary art. So again, a lot of the things of, Dada, surrealism, very stream of consciousness oriented, very dream oriented, and we'll let future or past Madison tell you about that. Okay, so the next movie you're gonna watch, oops. Oh my gatos, this is just out of control. Go back, go back. This thing is like on a tear. Hold on. Okay. Andalou, which means an Andalusian dog. It was made by Salvador Dali and Luis Buñuel. I believe Dali did most of the screenwriting and Buñuel did a lot of the directing. It is a 1929 silent surrealist film. So if you can imagine back in the day, without soundtracks and whatnot, you'd be watching it on a film reel, hearing the film reel instead of anything. So there is some sound and it is analog, but it is from the machine. I just want you to conceptualize where we're coming from, time-wise anyway. So it is nonlinear stream of consciousness. There is a dream look and feel to it. It also parallels the time when Freud was really getting going with his theories in psychoanalytics. And Buñuel was said, let me read this quote for you. I'm reading off this page, so you know how I am. Yes, in film, the aesthetics of surrealism are combined with some of Freud's discoveries. The film was totally in keeping with the basic principle of the school, which defines surrealism as psychoautomatism, unconscious, capable of returning to the mind its true functions by any form of control, by reason, morality, or aesthetics, which is what we're watching, aesthetics. Okay, enough of past Madison. Let's move on to the movie. We're just gonna watch a bit of it. Normally, if we were in class together, hopefully this plays, I might have to go find it. If we were in class together, we'd watch the whole thing, but what the heck, man? Let's try this again. Okay, apparently, let me stop the share real quick and I will just pull it up online because apparently they took that off. Exit. Ocean, and it might have terrible music, just so I'm gonna warn you there. If it's one of the lesser quality ones. Well, that's a bummer that they took that off. Okay. I just want you to really see the beginning. That's the real.
Creative.
Let's go back to share. Okay. Yay.
A professional logo with Wix and make your business stand out. I'm Hadar from Wix.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna stop that there. If you guys want to finish that though, I highly suggest it. It's a great one. Anything stick out to anyone in that video? Anything at all?
Mostly everything.
Like, what about it?
Like, were those dead donkeys in a piano?
Yes.
Uh,
So does
see, that
anyone,
one weirded me out.
yeah, I mean, like, so how many of you are familiar with Salvador Dali's paintings? Probably not.
Kinda.
So are y'all familiar with like the melting clock looking painting?
Yeah.
Okay. And Louise Buñuel, does anyone know where they were from? Remember where they were from? What part of Europe?
France, I want to say.
Close. They're from Spain. So yeah, so that's like, you know, we think about like sort of the melting clock and the surrealism within the paintings, but they were also using film. So also keep in mind all that editing, all those transitions, all of that layering, that was all done manually using film. They obviously did not have video. So sort of the difference between film and video is that film tends to be a bit more on the narrative side, whereas video is kind of conceptualized as being non-narrative. Obviously that's out the window now. Almost everything is captured digitally. But so that is one, I'm gonna share my screen again. That is one of those films that is kind of like in the canon, it's a staple. I definitely recommend finishing it. It's very stream of consciousness. So if you guys are taking notes and you kind of write down the core visual elements of what you're seeing, it's gonna make a lot more sense to you because it's kind of like decoding a dream almost. And so that's definitely one way you can approach it. This one is the Age of Gold, L'Âge de l'Or, L'Âge d'Or. I can say it. I'm not, let's see, I think this is a pretty short excerpt, so if this one plays, we'll watch it. There is a full movie on this one. This is kind of referencing sort of the Age of Gold, right? So the Gold Rush. This is after the Gold Rush. So notice how you have different shots. You have long shots, close-up shots. All of the same thing, but shot different ways. So keep that in mind while you're doing your project. So that's lava in black and white. This one has some good parts. I'm going to stop that there because I don't know where those good parts are. Definitely recommend watching that if you are interested. So we are going to watch the full one of this. This is Maya Deren. She, I believe, is Czech, if I'm not mistaken. She was a dancer. This originally didn't have any audio to it, but I think like her first or second husband put some audio to it. This one's also kind of like a fever dream of sorts. Really beautifully shot, and it's also not too long. And then I think we'll stop after Kenneth Anger and then save the rest for Wednesday. What just happened? Why did it do that? Oh, well, that would be why. Sorry about that. So notice really cropped, closed in shots, very dramatic lighting. Again, things to keep in mind when you are filming your video. Weird. Okay. I don't know why I've been signed out. That's kind of concerning. It was close to the end. What'd y'all think of my Darren?
Uh, like, I didn't really understand what was going on.
So, do you remember what we talked about sort of at the beginning of the lecture, and kind of also the same themes as Dada, where it's not necessarily sensical, it's more of like a dream state. So we've talked about like the superliminal being like you're very conscious of something, subliminal being you're unconscious of something, and liminal being that space in between where you're kind of like aware of what's going on around you, but you're not thinking too much about any one thing. This is kind of more in the subliminal space. Again, coincides with like Freud and psychoanalysis of dreams. So if you guys like actually write down like what you're seeing as it's happening, it's kind of like when you keep a dream journal and then you like look at it a week later and you're like, oh, that all totally makes sense in context of what's going on. It's kind of like a fever dream of sorts. She won a bunch of awards for this one. Anyone else have anything that stood out to them in this film, which was originally silent? Anyone? Anyone at all? Let's see. Chat has anything in it. Yeah, the Reaper is a great part. And you kind of also don't know, like, who is the Reaper? Is it her when she's sitting with herself at that table and, you know, they have the keys and the knife, and then she has like the one painted hand. So again, like the thing about experimental video is that it's not going to necessarily be narrative, meaning you're not necessarily telling a story. This is kind of more of a dream state. Seems like everyone's kind of checked out right now, so I guess I'll wait to finish the last half. That's where all the fun stuff is. But this is really sort of the foundation of experimental film, and then moving into experimental video as that becomes more widely available to the masses. Again, film wasn't necessarily widely available to the masses. These are all like fairly privileged people, so do keep that in mind. Any questions so far or comments? Not at the moment. Okay. So on Wednesday, so like first things first, get your quiz done for video. That'll be the first thing you want to get done. Get that done this weekend if you can. And then also if you can, start on the exercise, which will be due on Friday, a week from today. And then shortly after that, I'll probably give you like another week, your project will be due. And then so Wednesday we'll go over Stan Brakhage, Kenneth Anger, we'll do some Richard Serra, and then these are relatively short videos compared to the ones I just showed you. So yes, if you don't have any questions, I will see you Wednesday for the rest of the videos. But email me if you have any questions. In the meantime, Caitlin, I know I have to get back to you on your audio, so you're good to go. I'll let you know when I enter your grade in. Anyone else have any questions before we adjourn this meeting?
Is that lecture on Canvas?
Which, the audio lecture or?
No, the one that you were showing the videos from.
It will be. Yeah. And so I also will post the actual Google slideshow as well in announcements, just so you guys can watch them on your own time. I know it's probably kind of weird streaming them. So if there's something you want to revisit in the lecture, you can go back and look at that. We'll finish the second half of the lecture on Wednesday. And that will also be recorded and uploaded to the YouTube page, which is on that first syllabus page. Any other questions at the moment about assignment?
How do you render the audio
Um,
to an MP3?
Why don't you hang on the line and you can do a screen share with me and I'll show you. I actually use Reaper. I don't use Audition, but if you do a screen share with me, I can walk you through it.
All right.
Cool. Yeah, you hang on, Nisi. Any other questions about anything?
Module 4 isn't available at the moment. Is that going to change soon, or?
Thank you. Which section are you in?
I was looking just through the module
No, I mean,
section on the.
What class section are you in? Are you in 92381 or 79?
Hang on.
I think maybe you're in 79.
7.9.
Okay.
7.9. Yeah.
Can you view it now?
Oh, hang on. Let me refresh it. Yeah. Okay. It's all there. Thank you.
Thank you for letting me know. I was like, everything else is open, but that apparently was not. Okay. Thank you, Mark.
All right. Cool. Yeah. No problem. Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? If not, y'all are free to go, and I'll see you Wednesday for the rest of the lecture. And have a good weekend. And
Thank
get that
you.
quiz done. Yeah, you're welcome. Get that quiz done this weekend.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I actually had a question that wasn't really for this class.
Yeah, no worries.
So for English, I have to do this assignment and it's on Zoom, but we need essentially to do like little interviews with like professors and students. So would you be willing to, it doesn't have to be right now, but like to answer some questions about like Zoom
Yeah, that's
classes?
fine. If you want to do it either after I go over rendering with Nisi, or we can just do it next Friday during office hours, if that works, if that gives you enough time.
Could we do it today? Would that work for
Yeah,
you?
fine.
Okay,
Just
perfect.
hang on the
Yeah.
line, or you can, yeah, just hang on, and then I'll get to you after I show Nisi how to render her audio.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, Nisi, let me make sure you
All right.
do a screen share. Hold on.
Yeah.
Multiple participants. Okay, let's see what's going on.
Okay.
Okay,
Can you? Okay.
okay. File.
Okay.
Or actually, let's see. Go to export. Let's see, it's been a while since I've used Audition, but
Export.
and we'll just see what's happening here. Go to multi-track mixdown. Let's see. Go to edit. Let me see. So
Edit.
yeah. Go to multi-track. Sorry, I use Reaper, so it's a little bit different of a process. And if you don't do
You're
it,
good.
we'll figure it out though. Let's see. Multi-track. Let me see something real quick. It's been a while since I've been in this program.
Yeah, because I was trying to change it to either MP3 or WAV or WAV, and it did not work.
Okay, go to File, Export Session.
Export
Session.
session.
Yeah. Now let's see if it pops up. And then weird. Okay, let me see. I wonder, can you convert files? Let's see. File name, location. Select save options. Let's just see. And that's all it gives you is this format. Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Open session after saving. Let's hit browse. Let me see if you can. Go to save file type as. That's weird.
Oh my god.
Cancel. That's really weird. I'm wondering
Mhm.
if, what happens if you go to the waveform? You can just, yeah, hit cancel on there. Go to waveform. Yeah, because that's weird. Okay, now go to, now try it and see if it gives you that option.
File export.
Yeah. File export. Doesn't even give you session as an option there. Okay, let's see. Multi-track, you can go back to the multi-track one if you want. That's really weird. File.
Do you think if I had like recorded it or something, do you think it would save as an MP3?
I'm not sure just because I can't see. Let's see, go to files. I didn't just see something. File. Wonder if it'll give you an option. File, save as. No. That's really weird. Include metadata. It should be giving you a different option. Let's see. Let me check the Adobe site. File save, file export. How to save this in MP3 though? Wonder if you can, you'd have to do encoder, which is kind of a pain in the butt. Let's see. Yeah, it's hard. This is not, honestly, I'm not a huge Audition fan. I don't think it's like very user friendly. I prefer Reaper, but yeah, I know how to do that. It's hard because let me see if I can go to, what if you hit multi-track? I'm like just wondering because it looks like you have different, it looks like whatever track you're on, maybe try to click on the top one that says MP3 where all your files are. I don't know if it's because you just click on that one. And then just leave that. Let me see now. Go to file and try to export it and see what happens. I'm wondering if it's, what is that particular audio? Is the .se?
It's the like it's all of my stuff, like the ones like the one I recorded myself, sound that I downloaded, and the music in the background.
So strange that it's not giving you that option. Go to multi-track. Click on multi-track for a second. Let me see. Mixdown session, a new file. Oh, one above,
Oh,
entire session. Let's just try it. Okay, now try to export it. File. Export. Okay, multi-track mixdown. Let's see if that gives us any. Nope. What about export file? Let's just try that. Let's, now we're even getting less options here. Format, right there. Click on it, and now save it as MP3. And hit OK. That should work. Just say, yeah. Okay, you should have that MP3 now. It looks like.
I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's the one.
Okay, so yeah, you just upload it. I think it should still be open in Canvas. Just email me once you do, so I remember to give you points.
Alrighty, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'll see you Wednesday.
Alrighty.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you for your patience.
No, you're good. Here, let me turn on my camera real quick. Okay, so my first question is, do you think students should have to turn on their cameras?
I have mixed feelings about that. I think some students are very uncomfortable with it, and I don't want to pressure them to do it. And it's a weird time right now. On the other hand, I wish they would, because sometimes I feel like I'm not getting the feedback that I, as an instructor, need to know if like people are even listening to me. Like normally I can look around in an in-person class and be like, get off your phone, you know, like go out in the hall or whatever. But with this, I mean, like I feel like so yeah, half and half. Like I want to respect the students and their comfortability, but I also want feedback myself.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Do you find Zoom classes to be easier or more difficult to like teach than traditional classes?
I prefer traditional classes myself. I am a performer, so I find it's a lot easier to connect with my students if we can teach in person versus on Zoom. Zoom is nice because I save gas and I don't have to drive to campus, but like I think the quality of instruction and the quality of like just active listening goes way, way down. Yeah, all around, I'm not a fan. Not a fan.
I agree.
Yeah, honestly, this has probably been, in a way, probably one of the hardest semesters I've taught because of Zoom. Like, it's great we can connect, but it's like, it's also just so not my preference.
Yeah. Let's see, what is the next one? I just said, do you prefer it? Oh yeah, I know the answer.
Definitely not.
Yeah. Are there any ways you think Zoom classes could be improved?
I mean, it's hard. Like the other thing is like internet connectivity. Like sometimes my internet connection isn't as good as other times, so it's just kind of contingent on like people's connection, and I don't know how you would improve that because everyone has different like sort of socioeconomic restrictions in some way or whatever. So turning on the cameras is nice, but I don't know. I'm a fan of teaching in person. Zoom's like a last resort, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, let me stop recording this part.